Hello guys, welcome back to yet another exciting episode right here on the Gamers Entertainment Youth Talk Show. Nah, hey, the G's and the G's. Right now, I need to go live Facebook, and so you can interact with us down there by commenting. Like we are coming up with yet another exciting episode on how to be positive during this month of March, where everybody is celebrating and trying to talk more about creating mental awareness. So today with me, my guest is somebody who has suffered depression at a point in time, but is a survivor. So no.
Yes, sir.
I'm Ngumini.
Double.
Yeah. So welcome to the show.
Yes.
So you can tell us more about who is Ian. Yeah.
So my name is Ian Ekesa, and I'm a depression survivor. I'm a very vibrant guy. I'm a newly vibrant guy, because it's the depression that turned me from an introvert to the extrovert that I am now. That is me.
Alright, so it's a renewal kind of energy. Yeah, that's why today our tagline is really being positive, about life. No matter how many times we've been pushed to the wall, we're trying to be positive. So you said your name is Ian Onono.
Yes.
Wekesa.
Yes.
Alright. So maybe break it down to us so that you understand. Like, how did it start? Like, with the faces, like ilianza aje?
Ilianza 2017, around December. Back in those days, I used to live with my girlfriend. He's now an ex. Imagine. Ni life.
Itabidi
tumekubali. Life inakutupia vitu.
Yes.
So ilianza 2017. In that, I just showed sense of being secluded, being away from my friends. I had a lot of friends in my class. I had some friends in my class, not really many, because I was an introvert back then. I used to seclude myself from people, just staying to myself. My girlfriend noticed this and called my mother, telling her of the symptoms that I'm showing. At the time, my mom was in Arusha, so she could not help me out. So my mom just told her to take me to the hospital. And she took me to the hospital where they did not understand what was happening with me. So they just gave me some medicines, which I went back to school and took them. But they're not helping me in any way. I was not showing any sense of recovery. I went on getting worse. I used to do this crazy thing whereby I was told that I used to go to the level, since I used to live with my girlfriend in a room, in a hostel. So
but this was in school?
Yes.
So you're staying with the girlfriend in the hostel?
Yes.
In school?
Yes.
Alright.
Which is illegal. But mapenzi nini?
Mapenzi.
But this lady was my first love. My first love in the moto.
You feel it burning your heart? Okay.
Yeah, mine was not just burning in my heart. It was burning in my heart, my intestines, my liver. It was burning everywhere. Because this lady I fell for her with all my life, with all my body. So she noticed me. I used to do this crazy thing where I used to go to the hanging lines. I removed some girls' clothes and go hide them. Imagine that. So she saw this, she called my mom again, but this time my mom was already back in Nairobi. So my mom asked her to just bring me back home, to send me back home. So my girlfriend did just that. She put me in a matatu, sat me down with the driver, and gave the driver instructions to drop me at the petrol station that's near my home. So I came back to Nairobi. When my mom was there at the stage waiting for me, so when the driver dropped me, my mom just took my hand, put me in another matatu, took me to Avenue Hospital Westlands. When I got there, the doctors were suspecting me of using drugs. That's why I was in that situation. But my mom kept denying that I never used any drug. So the doctors decided to give me an injection. That is, apparently the injection helps them know if I'm using any drugs. When I was given that injection, it made me become so weak in that I could not use my arms or legs. That's the level of weakness I was in. Basically, I became paralyzed.
Because of the drug?
Yeah, because of the injection. Because I was not using any drugs.
So, okay, let me understand this point clearly. Like, you became depressed because you kind of felt like you're being secluded. And you're saying that you are an introvert. So
yes.
you could like spend most of your time away from your friends.
Yes.
So in that state of introversion is what led you into being depressed?
Not really.
What exactly?
The reason for the depression it takes me back all the way to 2014 when I joined campus. Because when I joined campus, the friends I made, apparently I just made friends from high-end estates.
Okay.
Because we'll be making chit chat. Someone tells me how they have 5 bedrooms in their home, another says they have 6. Me, I'm there thinking to myself, can I really tell these people I come from a 2-bedroom house? Because obviously I wouldn't fit in to the clique. So to that regard, I had to fake a story.
Okay.
I had to fake a life. Do you know Western Towers?
Yeah.
I like to those people that live at Western Towers.
The one on your way to
Westlands.
Okay.
Yes.
The one near, opposite Absa.
Yes. As if that's not enough, I like that we have a penthouse at the top of Western Towers. Imagine that.
that is in first year.
Yes.
Okay.
So leave that. You have to maintain that lie for the whole semester.
Sure.
Because the thing about lies, once you start,
You don't stop.
exactly, you just keep going. Because that one lie hasn't. You have to add another backup lie to support the original lie. So by the time the semester ends, I've had so many lies that I even forget reality. But when the semester ends, I have to come back to reality. Going back to reality is a disappointment.
Sure.
So you can imagine the number of disappointments I have.
Per semester.
Yeah. So that was the inception.
Okay, so it was 2014 you were in first year. Then
Yeah.
2017 that was not third year.
I was getting into 4th year.
Going to fourth year.
Yeah.
But so the lies that you've been trying to plot ever since from first year, second year, third year, and the disappointments, the repeated disappointments are the things that now made you become depressed.
Yes.
All right. So tell me more about because there's an interview I watched about you, like your story, so in at Hebrew, and you were saying that actually the person who really helped you a lot was your girlfriend.
Yes.
You know. So tell me about it.
This lady was amazing. I believe God sent me to her. Because this lady, you've seen that she's the one who noticed me being ill. So when I went to, after I got paralyzed, she came to Nairobi to take care of me, from what I was told. Because I was not in any position to talk.
Yeah.
It's like my mind was off. Because I have no memory of myself in hospital. That's 3 weeks gone.
So you're in hospital for 3 weeks.
Yes. And she took care of me all through. Because there's even this video I watched of her helping me walk in hospital ward. You see, after I became paralyzed, I started being taken through physiotherapy classes to be taught how to use my appendages. So I've been taught. So I learned quickly till I got to the point where I will be able to walk, but I will not walk stably. I'll walk in a staggering way, like a drunkard. So I watched this video where my girlfriend was helping me walk in hospital ward. She was holding me the way you hold a drunk guy. She was holding me like that, walking me through hospital ward. We walked till we reached the door somewhere. She seemed to say something to me, then it started coming back towards the camera. Then when we got back near the camera, they noticed that there was a wheelchair next to the camera. So she tried to help me sit on the chair. She took me down slowly. The moment she let go of me, I just landed on the seat by force to show how much I needed her support. I remember watching that video. The first thought that came to my mind is, I am definitely going to marry this lady. Because obviously, see, that's marriage wife material. So she stayed with me all through when I was in hospital. Because my mom told me of this episode whereby the first moment when I blacked out, she sat by my bedside for 4 days and nights.
The lady.
Yeah. She sat by my bedside 4 days and nights without leaving. Till on the 4th day, my mom came to her and chased her away, saying, that's the moment she got out. So, yeah, she was very supportive in hospital.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So the reason I asked that question is because we were trying to come up with another different episode of us talking about relationship with people with mental maybe say illness and stuff like that, or maybe mental survivors, because people have always been saying that it's very hard for you guys maybe to have partners.
Yeah.
So the reason I was asking that question is to see whether is it possible. Well, people kind of feel like, okay, before you, like in our previous episode, we were talking to a certain lady, and she kind of said that it's very hard for you guys to have partners.
To have relationships.
Yeah, to have partners. So, And it's clear because in the subsequent episode that we've had before, like we've always been talking about the people who are supposed to be helping, like our brothers and sisters with mental illness, like they're us. You know, you see, like in this case, it is the girlfriend who first realized that that he needed that help. You know, so the first step is like just knowing what your friend is going through, knowing what kind of help they might need and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So hizi vitu zote venye zilikuwa zinaendelea. I guess like it reached a point where now your mom too had to like accept the fact that yes, you are maybe depressed. Now Ankata, because you see there's no parent who will ever accept that yes, my son is this and this.
Yeah,
and
true.
that. So at what point did your mom accept?
After I got out of the hospital, I had to be discharged from hospital because there was no more money.
Okay.
After they spent an entire 2 million on me.
2 million.
Imagine. And I was not yet well.
Okay. So what type of treatment was this? Because you mentioned that you lost memory.
Yeah. I'm not sure of the treatment because, as I said, I was not in any condition. I was not aware of myself when I was in hospital. But I saw from the transcript, from the receipt that I got, I was just on antidepressants. Yes.
Okay. In a previous episode, interview, I also saw you mention that you were diagnosed of is it acute or organic brain syndrome?
Yes.
So how this shows that there was a lot of maybe say I won't say negligence, but people are not ready to accept the fact that maybe you're depressed, and
Yes.
that's why it had to graduate to another new level.
Yes.
Right.
It's true.
So that's why I'm asking, like, at what level, like, after now you'd come out of the hospital, you didn't come out of the hospital like fully, like after you fully recovered.
Yes.
Right? So it means you still had to undergo medication.
Yes.
So at what level did you now decide, or maybe your family decide, like now you need to see a therapist or a psychiatrist?
After I got back home, I was still unable to walk, or use my arms. So that I've been taught how to at home. I went learning slowly by slowly, till I got to that point of staggering again. It was at that point that one Saturday morning, I got up in the morning, I turned on my mobile data and received only one message in WhatsApp. I noticed it was a video sent by one of my classmates.
Okay.
When I played that video, what I saw was prayers. My classmates were holding prayers, none of our lecture halls. They gathered together making in a prayer session. And after watching that video, I got healed instantaneously. I was able to walk because I jumped up out of excitement.
The power of prayer.
Yes, exactly. That's the miraculous power of prayer. I got healed. Now, after I got healed physically, that's when I started going to the psychiatrist. I used to go to Ruaraka to see the psychiatrist who had diagnosed me with the illness in the beginning. She's the one who took over my psychiatrist, my psychiatric classes, lesson sessions. Whenever I went to visit her, she used to give me tasks, which I guess she used to gauge my mind. She used to give me random topics. Like I remember the first one was the past year in 500 words, which I guess she was just gauging what I can remember.
Wait, what?
The past 1 year in 500 words.
Okay.
Yes. So just write whatever I remember. And I remember in all those tests, I really used to praise my girlfriend. Because for me, she was my hope. Because I even recently got a memory on Facebook of this picture, and I uploaded one of our pictures together. And I said, this girl turned lady, turned angel. My dear Mercy, you are a hope for me. You are a beacon of hope for me. Because you took me out of the plague of illness that had plagued me. Imagine how I praised her.
But now, what happened? What happened? You may say many X. What happened? What happened? Like we just want to know. We just want to know by the way.
So she never really explained why.
She's the one who walked away.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Imagine.
It's life.
Ni life. Nairobi.
All right. So are you still undergoing like maybe say therapy? You've recovered and like now you're a survivor. You know.
What happened is, after a while, okay. After I started speaking, My voice was always over the top. It was very high pitched. I remember there was even this time my mom took me to Chiromaland Medical Clinic so that they could deal with it. When I went there, I was just given antidepressants, which yes used to help. But they became expensive again. So my mom dropped me off them. Then recently, I remember one day I was just talking to my friend around home. And there was this lady who was just, apparently she was just there observing. After I was done talking to my friend, she just called me slowly. She called me to her, when I went to her, she just told me, young man, I can tell there's something wrong with you. Obviously I was shocked. You know, some random person just telling you that.
Because of the talking, like,
Yeah.
Yo kuongea sana.
Yeah. Then she told me, I have a friend of mine who works in a hospital in Kangemi. You can go see her, she can help you. So I took the advice and went. So I went to the Kangemi Health Center. They usually have psychiatric sessions every Wednesday. They have psychiatric services every Wednesday. So I went there, this lady just told me, apparently she has talked to the lady who had called me out, who called out to me. So the lady already explained to her what was wrong. And then this lady just came, put me under medication. They didn't really tell me what was up. They put me under medication. I went one day, you know, I loved my experience at Chiromole Medical Clinic. I loved it so much that I usually go there to visit the nurses. One day as I was going there to visit, I found them, you know, in that clinic, they usually have sessions in the morning where they're taught about a mental illness so that people can understand each other. So that day they'll be taught about bipolar. So they usually given these pamphlets which show the symptoms and such and such. So I found one of those pamphlets. I read on the symptoms of bipolar and I realized I'm exhibiting most of those symptoms. That's when I realized I'm bipolar.
Okay, maybe can you help us break it down, like so that they can also understand. So yeah, so like someone might want to ask, like, what are the symptoms of bipolar? Like, to know that someone is depressed or maybe is running maniac. So maybe you can just list a couple of them to do it.
I can't really remember them all, but some of them are hyperactivity is one of them. For bipolar type 1, hyperactivity. There's something called hypersexuality, yeah, whereby you are attracted to the opposite gender in an extreme way. Then there's, can't really remember these things. What am I remembering? Let me just remember my life.
Okay, so you mentioned that. Yeah, we also have to remember our lives. No, we are all. So you mentioned that all these things have happened like when you were going to fourth year.
Yes.
So after the entire session of maybe therapy and stuff like that, did you manage to go back to school or you dropped out?
By the grace of God, I was able to go back to school, and I really thank Him for that. Because one day my psychiatrist just gave me a clean bill of clean health. She gave me a clearance, and she told me I'm ready for school. And I went back to school. But honestly speaking, yes, I was ready to go back to school. But I was not ready for school. Do you get me?
Okay, explain.
I was ready to go back to school.
Yeah.
I had the energy to go back to school.
But you're not ready for school.
But I was not prepared for what school has to offer.
So what happened?
Fourth year was terrible. It was terribly difficult. Hadi naambianga watu haikuwa mawe, ilikuwa chuma. Yedoshi.
So you managed, yes, it was hard, but you managed to maliza.
Yes.
Okay, so what can you tell people who are outside that will feel like they're depressed and they feel like life is totally hard for them. Like they just can't push.
What I can tell them?
Yeah.
Just keep pushing on. Depression is not the end of life. There's always a solution. Even in the darkest situation, there's always a ray of hope. Because hope never dies. Yes.
All right. So guys, to those who are live, mnaweza sikia kuna makuku zinapiga kelele. It's as being organic and stuff like that. So we'll take a short commercial break, but then we'll come back with the same topic to wind. So welcome back after the short break. By the way, it was just a little bit of niche, you know. Now that tunatoka mashamba, you know, mashambani.
Ocha.
Kuku wakaamua tu like
Mashamba.
hii show leo sisi pia lazima tuingie. You know, the point is they don't say kuku walikuwa napiga kelele. Ni juu they are bitter. They are bitter. They want to know mbona ikakuaje msichana ambaye alikulinda ukasema this is my angel, God sent. Kuja tu akatoka hivyo. Nasikia bado anapiga kelele.
Ukisikia hii story
To explain here, how did it happen? Like now that the main segment that we're supposed to be discussing here is a relationship with mental illness.
Yeah.
Now we wanted to know like how is it, you know? So break it down for us. Like how comparing like before you started being like showing the signs of depression and after, how was the relationship compare?
Actually, I speak about two relationships. Between me and my girlfriend, former girlfriend, and between me and my mom. Because those are two relationships that have really changed because of the depression. For my girlfriend, even after I recovered, when I was recovering at home, she used to come and visit me for a while. Then at some point the visits got less and less. I never understood why, because me I was still love-struck. Nothing had changed for me. But the visits became less and less. Because I even remember there was a time she got a job in Kawangware. And she got a house just next to the bank. Which was very appropriate for her. Because she even used to walk to work. It saved on cost. But at that point,
Well, she was an accountant.
no, she was a teller in the bank. Because she was one of these people who used to fly. She was one of the wings to fly scholars. So they used to get jobs with the bank during holidays. So I used to visit her in that place in Kawangware. Then small signs. She showed small signs of going away. Like the kissing stopped. To me.
The what?
Of course we were kissing, duh. And more. But those are PG rated. This is PG rated. So the kissing stopped. But me with my love-struck mind, I used to say, labda jifeel. That's how I used to console myself. Labda jiski leo. Labda na moods. That's how I used to console myself. Then at some point, she got a permanent job in Nyeri. She moved to Nyeri. So I used to ask her if she has a roommate. She used to tell me that she has a roommate called Josephine. That's what she used to tell me. Kini Mungu ni nani? Mungu ni Mungu. Naendelee kuitwa Mungu. One day, some of my classmates planned a surprise visit to her place.
To her place in Nyeri.
Yes. They went there. And lo and behold, there was a man in the room.
The man is called Josephine.
Apparently. Ama it's Joseph. So that's how the news was brought to me.
Then it ended.
No, I just called her one day. Actually, I called her before that happened. A few weeks before, while I was in school, I don't know, I just had a moment of intense feelings. I even called her with the intention of proposing to her over the phone. To just tell her my intentions of deciding to marry her.
This is after knowing that that she was living with a certain man in Nyeri.
No, before.
Before, okay.
Before I knew that. At this point, I'd even gone back to school. I remember I was in school one day. I just had these intense feelings. I guess I just remembered everything she's done for me. And I got so emotional that I wanted to call her, telling her that I want to marry her. Then when I called her, she picked up the call. And before I even spoke, she just told me, Ian, mapenzi imeisha. Imagine.
That is before you even found out that she was having like a certain man in the house.
Yes.
So mapenzi ilisha before.
Yeah.
Before atapate kazi Kawangware.
No. This was after she moved to Nyeri.
Okay. Let me get this point clearly.
Yes.
She moved to Nyeri after amemaliza shule ama bado? Ama ilikuwa ni kitu kama attachment hivi?
Yeye alikuwa shamaliza shule. Si njoo aliendelea kusoma.
Oh, so ukarudi shule kama shamaliza.
Mimi nilirudi shule after ameshamaliza. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Imagine that, missing all your friends.
That's terrible. Richard Ochango, you wanted to know when you went for a break, you were asking what exactly happened. Now you can see that. So you also mentioned that there are two relationships that were affected. Your mom's and your girlfriend.
Yes.
Or your ex-girlfriend. Or your wife's girlfriend. All right. So how did the relationship between you and your mom get affected, like with the depression?
For my mom is a whole different case. That this is still ongoing. Because you see,
still ongoing.
Before depression, I never knew how to talk to people well. So even with my mom sometimes she tells you crazy things sometimes. Like when she gets angry, she just speaks randomly. She can make you do things that don't make sense. Before depression, I never questioned it. I would just do it silently, humbly. But now after depression, now that I have a voice, now that I can air my views, whenever I air my views, they're not received well by my mom. She considered it rudeness.
Take water.
Please. My tongue is hot and heavy. She considered it rudeness.
Yeah.
And that's how we're always in conflict with her.
So okay, with the same voice, talk to mom. Maybe you've never told her what you're telling us today. So explain to like Moleze I love. Look at the camera.
I'll not make this mistake again.
Okay.
Mom, I love you. You're my everything in this earth. Because you're my provider. You've been there with me. You spent so much on me. And you're still spending more on me. And I thank you for that. But you have to come to an understanding. That is the only way we can live in peace. If you understand me the way I am. Please. We have to sit down and understand each other. Thank you.
Alright, so today when you go back home, go tell mom that way. Like physically. Yeah, so guys, it was a nice nice conversation with our guest today, Ian Onono Wekesa, who's just come out today bravely to share with us some of his past moments and stuff like that. But I forgot before the outro. Like there's something you mentioned about you losing memory, and there's something also in a past interview where you were mentioning that I don't know what was this exactly. But it was a matter of being injected with some brain boost, some kind of things like that.
Oh yeah, that it came to be revealed to me. Like when I was taken to hospital, the doctor suspected that I used drugs, but my mom kept on denying. So the doctors gave me an injection that apparently shows them whether I'm using drugs. That injection is the one that made me weak
and lose memory.
Yes.
So. Up to date, have you regained your memory?
I've been regaining it slowly by slowly. Yes. Like I have these tactics that I came up with of regaining my memory. I like interacting with things from the past. Like listening to old music, watching old movies. They trigger memories in my mind. Yes. That's my solution.
Alright, thanks. Yeah, so guys, as I was saying, like that was a nice conversation with Ian, who has come out bravely to share his life experience, like the past moment and stuff like that, with us today, trying to empower and like maybe just tell people how you should feel like appreciated, feel positive each and every single time. So guys, it was nice having you guys. So watch this episode, watch the two past episodes that we've also had on the same issue of mental health. Manze, comment, share, subscribe, like, and don't forget, angalia hizo vitu zingine. Then you can know why we dedicated this entire month for mental health awareness. So guys, this was your host, Alex Ochango. You can call me Mr. G, and big up.